Hello, vinyl community. This is Randy. It's going to be the end of the year, and I have gotten, I think, all the new records that I'm going to get for the year. Don't think I'll be getting any more that were just released in 2020. So I'm going to do a year in review. I only got 8 jazz records and 16 rock or alternative records that were released in 2020, recorded and released in 2020, or maybe recorded at the end of 2019. So I'm just going to rank those for you in the order that I like them. I guess in the order that I probably listened to them the most, or and maybe in the order that I think I'll listen to them the most in the future going forward. So so I'm going to start with jazz, and then I'll do rock and alternative later. So number 8 for me for jazz is going to be Pat Metheny, From This Place. This is a good record. I like it a lot. Pat Metheny is a jazz guitarist, and he is playing with a combo on this one, but there's also some orchestrated background. So it's good contemporary jazz. I really enjoyed it. So this comes in at number 8 for the year. Number 8 is not bad. I mean, I still like it. I really probably there's really little chance I'm probably going to buy a record that I just totally will not like at all, just because there's so many ways to check everything out before you buy it. So at number 7, I have this record, Round Again, by Joshua Redman, who is a tenor saxophone player. Brad Meldau plays piano. Christian McBride on bass, and Brian Blade is the drummer. Christian, there's Joshua, and Brad Meldau. So they had recorded an album, I guess, in the early 90s together when they were, obviously much younger and just getting started in jazz. And that record, I guess, was really a big turning point for all of them. So they got back together for this one, and sounds good. This is what we're hearing in the background, if you could actually hear that back there. So, excellent record. There's the track listing for that one. And number 6, I have Terje Rypdal. Terje is a Norwegian guitar player, jazz guitar player, so he's been around since the 70s, and he's playing with a small band here. Their names, I'm not going to try to pronounce them. They're all Norwegian. So I think the name of the band is Conspiracy, and the name of the record is Conspiracy too. So this is contemporary jazz, focusing mostly on his guitar, but there's also some lead parts by the keyboard player, and it's mostly just very atmospheric jazz. This is on ECM Records, so ECM sort of has a reputation for their sound. I would call it atmospheric jazz, a very modern sounding. There's the title cut, Conspiracy, is the only one that has a little bit of a maybe sort of a more rocking type jamming type feel, but for the most part it's very atmospheric jazz, so really good. Christian McBride Big Band. Christian McBride was also in that other on that other record. This is his own band. It's a big band, which is consists of some trumpets, trombones, and woodwinds. But there's also a quartet on here. Christian plays bass. Joey DeFrancesco plays organ. Mark Whitfield's on guitar, and Quincy Phillips on drums. So there's 10 songs on here. About 4 of them are just that quartet, nobody else. Then the other 6 feature the big band. So they're doing mostly jazz standards on here, which I like a lot. I like hearing a song that I already know how it goes, and then hear their take on it. So this has really been an excellent record. So I have this at number 5 for the year. This is a tribute album to Jimmy Smith, organ player Jimmy Smith, Wes Montgomery, guitar player, and Oliver Nelson, who was mostly known as an arranger, but also played tenor sax. And this is on Mac Avenue. Yeah, Mac Avenue Records for that one. Number 4, I have Ambrose Akinmusire, on the tender spot of every calloused moment is the name of the record. Ambrose is a trumpet player. I think this is his third record that he has had as the leader, and so he's a little bit younger than those other jazz people we've seen so far, sort of from the next generation. This is contemporary jazz, and it's really well done. He shares a lot, so it's recorded with a quartet, and he allows everybody lots of room to express themselves. Some of it's kind of spare sounding. My only problem with this album is that there's a vocal song right in the middle of side one, Cynical Sideliners. It's the third song on side one. You know, it's not a bad song. It's sung by a woman, but I don't know, it just doesn't really seem to fit in with the rest of the record for me. So that's really probably the main reason why this is not ranked any higher than it is. So really excellent album though. On side B, it really gets very intense. So this was kind of unusual, and it's on this Blue Note label, but it's a black and white Blue Note label instead of traditional blue and white. At number 3, I have Joel Ross. The name of this record is Who Are You? Joel Ross is a vibraphonist, so he's also a younger jazz player. I think even younger than Ambrose, actually. So this is a fantastic record. He has his quartet playing on this. I think Joel is very active up there in New York right now. I believe he has a trio along with his quartet. He does a couple cover songs on here. He does John Coltrane's After the Rain, and also Vartha, which is an Ambrose Akinmusire song. The others are originals. No vocals on this one. It's a 2-record set. And yeah, like I say, some of it's really spare sounding, but contemporary jazz. And yeah, vibraphonist, Joel Ross. Really excellent. Really enjoyed this record a lot this year. This is on the more traditional Blue Note label. Shabaka and the Ancestors. This record came out, I think, sort of in the middle of the year. This is a 2-record set. Shabaka Hutchings is the saxophone player for The Comet Is Coming, and this is another band that he has put together. This was recorded in South Africa. So this will be contemporary jazz too. This was recorded with South African musicians. So I probably would not try to pronounce their names either. There's some vocals on this. Some of it's written in African languages. Other parts are in English, and some of it's just kind of like chanting. But the vocals on this one I like more than the ones on the Ambrose album. They're kind of fun. So I mean, even though I don't know what they're saying, kind of fun to chant along with and everything. So yeah, this is a really really excellent album. Well, number 2 out of my jazz. So yeah, Impulse. And my number 1 jazz album for the year is going to be Alabaster to Plume. So this may be a controversial pick for 2 reasons. In the first place, is it even jazz? I'm calling it jazz because it's on the International Anthem record label. But it could be, I think it could be world music or just sort of like contemporary music. But well, we're gonna call it jazz. The other reason it might be controversial is this actually is a compilation album of some earlier material that he had released, but I'd never heard of him before, so this album is completely new to me. Alabaster de Plume plays saxophone. He also plays some guitar on here, and yeah, this whole album just has a wonderful sound. It's unlike anything else really that I've heard this year, but I'm going to call it jazz, and it has like some recurring musical themes. Beautiful album cover. So, yeah, Alabaster de Plume is going to be my number 1 jazz record for the year. Cool looking label on that. It has the information on the other side there. So, yeah, so that's it for jazz. So I will take a pause here, and then I'll be back in a minute, and I'm going to count down the rock or alternative albums for the year. Okay, so now we'll go over some rock or alternative records. I know this has been a really crummy year for everybody. I got the worst year in memory, but as far as music goes, there actually were lots of great records this year, and you've been reviewing them here over the past couple weeks, and Yeah, there were a lot of really good records this year. So now I'm just going to rank the alternative or rock albums that I got. And yeah, once again, I mean, I would say that all of these are ones that are I like them all. Um, but yeah, I'm just going to rank them all from top to bottom here. I was just going to say that, yeah, like I say, it's kind of it'd be hard to get something that I totally feel like I wouldn't like at all. So at number 16, I have Pine Grove. This is an Americana record. I think I would call it Americana. It's like mostly acoustic bass. This is a small band, about 4 or 5 people in this band called Pine Grove, and it sounds good and everything. I liked it. It's just, it really is not the genre of music that I listen to too much. I enjoyed it when I listened to it, but yeah, probably will not be getting a whole lot of time on the turntable. Sort of the same story with this one, and you will notice by the trail that this is not Americana at all. This is, I think this would be like alternative rock. Some of it sounds almost like progressive rock, and on side B, it's a little bit more, well, maybe more like college rock or indie rock or something. But yeah, the first side, it really a little bit of a progressive sound. It's a beautiful sounding album. It's really well recorded and everything. But yeah, this just isn't really maybe the genre of music that I would spend a whole lot of time with over the next year or so. At number 14, I have Sonic Boom. So now we're moving more into, all the rest of these are going to be ones that are really more in, you know, I wasn't experimenting, I guess you could say. With the rest of these, I was pretty sure that all these were types of music that I would like. So this is Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom is the guy who used to be in Spaceman 3. And, I think he's made a couple records of Sonic Boom. So yeah, this is you know, a lot of synthesizers on this, and electronic music, kind of experimental. It all sounds good, has vocals and everything. A little bit repetitive, and it's kind of like more like a lot of it was spoken words, vocals, maybe more than singing. So I liked it. It's good. You know, sort of a spacey type record. So I've got that at number 14 for the year. Comes in this cool inner sleeve. Cool looking label too. Yeah. Alright, the next record that I have here is Freeways. This is what we're hearing in the background. So this is just straight ahead rock and roll, I would call it. Like 70s hard and heavy, or yeah, so here's the band. It's a 4-man band up there, and yeah, just singing straight ahead rock and roll. I really like the cover a lot. I thought it was an excellent cover. A couple people, when I showed it during the year, commented they didn't like the cover, but I thought it was really good album cover. So yeah, Freeways. I enjoyed this one a lot. This one came on really strong towards the end of the year. Maybe should be ranked a little bit higher. This is Wasted Shirt. This is a band that is Ty Siegel's band. He is mostly just playing with a drummer here, and this is like a lot of noise rock, I guess, or psychedelic rock, I guess you would call it, or stoner rock maybe. It's got a lot of heavy guitars, but some really cool guitar leads, you know, sort of in the background. You sort of have to listen for them back in there, but yeah, it really sounds great. Yeah, like I say, when I went back and reviewed towards the end of the year, I found that I liked this much more than I thought I had throughout the year. So it's on this cool purple vinyl. At number 11, I have John Hurlbut and Norma Kaukonen. This is the last record I got this year. This is John Herrod. He plays acoustic guitar. Norma Kaukonen used to be the guitarist for Jefferson Airplane, current guitarist for Hot Tuna, and he plays guitar also on this. John does the singing, so there's vocals on all 8 of the songs. Here's a track listing. They mostly covers, 7 cover songs, starting with Ballad of Easy Rider and People Get Ready. 1 original by John. So, yeah, this is really excellent. This is sort of the Americana thing too, kind of like Pine Grove, but I would say I like this one more. I'm a big Uwana fan for a long time, so really like this record a lot. I was glad to get this one. That is on, what was this record label called? I can't remember what the thing was called. Culture Factory. Culture Factory is the name of this label. Bob Dylan put out a record this year. I've got it at number 10. Bob Dylan just really, for me, it's just difficult to rank and evaluate, just because he's sort of like a larger-than-life person. You know, he's so huge in American culture, you know, even outside of music. So, I think this is sort of a comeback album for him. He's not doing the standards here. These are all originals. And side 4 is one really long, 20-minute long song, Murder Most Foul. Yeah, I like this one a lot though, so I've got that one at number 10 for the year. This one is a 2-record set. Came with 2 cool inner sleeves. And this on Columbia has these cool, sort of like old-timey looking labels. Columbia recording artist Bob Dylan. Complete Change of Pace, Tank and the Bangers. So this is another one that just came out towards the end of the year. This is really an EP, but I'm going to go ahead and count it for the year. And you know, is this rock alternative? I mean, it's really more like a funk-oriented band from New Orleans. Tank is a female singer. But on this album, she's got a lot of rappers helping her on each song. So they're singing and rapping on this one, which, you know, I really liked a lot. It really reminded me of why I used to like rap so much. Friend Goals is the name of the EP. And really fun, very upbeat and hopeful sounding. And yeah, really good to listen to. So yeah, Tank and the Bangers. That's a good one. That came with the lyric sheet, which came in really handy because those rappers are really going very fast. So it kind of helps you to know what's going on. Some of this cool pink vinyl. This is on Verve Forecast, so, but I wouldn't call it jazz. I'm pretty sure this would not go into the jazz category. My Morning Jacket. I've got My Morning Jacket, number 8. This is Waterfall 2. Sort of a follow-up to their 2015 album called Waterfall, even though it's really not related to it. It doesn't sound like it, but I think they recorded it at the same time. So, yeah, My Morning Jacket, contemporary American rock band. They would be listed as indie rock. So, been around for a while. Jim James is the main singer and songwriter for the band. I'm a big fan of his. So, yeah, I was really glad to get this one. It was very consistent with what they've done in the past, I think. So, ATO Records for this one. Ian MacKaye used to be the singer for Minor Threat, and has always run Discord Records up there in DC. Started when I think he was a teenager when he started. So now he's in a band called Koriki. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Koriki. This is a band he's in with his wife and another person. So it's just 3 people in the band, and you know, I would just call this almost like pop music. It's like, I guess it's rock and roll, but you know, I guess it has some punk flavor to it. It's not complicated at all. It sounds really good. It's really hooky, catchy songs. So yeah, I like this one a lot. It's sung by Ian and also his wife, Amy Farina, is the drummer, and she also sings some too on this one. So Joe Lally is the bass player. Joe Lally, or Lally, Lally. Came with the lyrics on the inner sleeve. Number 6, I have Crong Bean, a 3-man band out of Texas. Well, 3-person band out of Texas. The guitar player and drummer are both males, and the bass player is a female. And there's vocals on this. It's mostly the drummer and the bass player doing the vocals. Well, I think the guitar player maybe does some too. And yeah, really fantastic album. This was sort of a follow-up to their 2018 album called, what was it called? With All the World Come Todo El Mundo or something like that. So, yeah, this is just very like chill out music. Been very popular. I think they've just released a new live album too. So yeah, I've got this at number 6 for the year. And this one came with a lyric sheet too. As you can see, there's the label on that one. This is on. Oh, Dead Oceans. Yeah, Dead Oceans is the label for this one. The record I really thought when it came out was going to be my number 1 for the year, but some of these others were so strong that they just took over. But I'm a huge Strokes fan. The Strokes put out this album this year, The New Abnormal. This is sort of a return to form for them, so just straight ahead rock, or I don't even think you call it indie rock or anything. It's rock and roll. 2 drums, bass, guitar, and a singer. And just so fantastic. I mean, I really love this album. I probably listen to this more than any other single album for the whole year. Yeah, the Strokes. Yeah, I guess this is a return to form for them. So this is on RCA Records. Number 4, Of Montreal. Of Montreal is basically just this one guy here. You know, obviously he has other people who help him, but I think he records most of this by himself in a studio. Very cool cover here. And yeah, I guess this is considered to be indie rock or college rock. It's just like pop music. These are really catchy, infectious songs. These should have all been, all 10 of these songs should have been AM radio hits. Well, if we still had AM radio, it should have been hits on the radio, but I don't know if they were or not. But I really like it all. Fantastic album. This one was really cool. Red vinyl. Polyvinyl Record Company. Now we're getting really strong albums. This Tame Impala record. So fantastic. The Slow Rush. 2-record set. Tame Impala is really, I think, mostly just this one guy from Australia. Yeah, I think you would just call it indie rock, or maybe, you know, like synthesizer rock or something. A lot of keyboards and stuff on here, but you know, guitars too. Fantastic singing. Yeah, this is just a great album. Tame Impala. So yeah, I was really glad to get that one this year. It's on red vinyl. The other looks like I didn't pull the other. The other was on blue vinyl. So inner sleeves look like. Very nice package altogether. Very well done. Our Song of Silence is the name of this album. Wax Machine is the name of the band. And the song Beyond is Beyond Records. So yeah, alternative rock. Is very guitar based for the most part. There's some interesting vocals on here, kind of like some spoken word parts, and some of it's kind of humorous and definitely alternative, but really, really good. I just like this one a whole lot. So yeah, Laura on guitar, voice and percussion. Gosh, who else is on this? Isabel Jones, Thomas Sapir on drums and percussion, and Woody Green on bass. So yeah, Earth Song of Silence by Wax Machine is on this gold vinyl with sort of a cool label. Number 1 for the year. Maybe the Strokes weren't the one I played the most. Probably the one I played the most throughout the year. The Third Mind. So yeah, The Third Mind. So there's a band from California doing mostly cover. There's 5 songs on here. 4 of them are cover songs by bands from the 1960s. So it's almost like a tribute album too, with the psychedelic sounds of the 60s. It's very psychedelic sounding, and fantastic vocals on here. One original song called Claudia Cardinal, which is also excellent. Inside of that one looks like, so yeah, this is on Yep Rock Records. I've just played this consistently throughout the year. I've never even filed it away this year. I've just had it in my playing stack throughout the whole year. So that's going to be my #1 rock alternative record for the year. So yeah, that's it. There's a rundown for all the new music that I got in 2020. So it actually turned out to be a really good year as far as the music goes. So yeah, let me know what you think about that countdown. And yeah, what were your favorite records for the year? Obviously, everybody doing their evaluations now, so I'll be interested to know what everybody has for their top 5 or 10 or favorite record for the year. So hope everybody's having a happy holiday season. And yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope everybody has a great day.